Oh yeah, I totally get it. I can see why these are becoming so popular. They're just a nice change of pace, and they usually have a really good blade to handle ratio, which means they ride so nice in pocket. So today I'm going to show you my top 5 favorite front flipper knives right now. And if this is your first time here, hey, thanks for stopping by. My name is Jay. Go ahead and consider clicking on that subscribe if you're looking for knife reviews that get right to the point. Also links to buy, and if there's any coupon codes, that stuff's all going to be listed down in the description. And most of these are also fidget knives with great action and 2 or more opening options. All right, let's get started with number 5. I got from CJRB. This is a Mylea. Ever since it was released, this little guy has been a very popular knife for artisan because, well, I think it's because it's got some really unique stuff going on. Now, for some reason, there's not too many knives out there that have both a front flipper and thumb studs. I don't know why, because it makes sense to me. I honestly can't think of any other knives that are, well, first, this small with drop shut action that good. Instead of them just slapping on a standard like CJRB pocket clip, they actually went ahead and created a mini one to which fits this knife. And yes, it is a 2-position. The only thing I could come up with that I would change about this knife is that choil. If it was just a little bit larger where it could fit a finger, then you'd be able to choke up, and then it would turn this 3-finger grip into a really nice 4-finger one. But then that would mean we would lose a little bit of this usable sharpened edge. You might want to stick around because at some point in this video, I'm going to announce a giveaway. And I'll also tell you exactly what you need to do to enter. Next up at number 4, I got from Kuby. That's the Royal. I'm such a big fan of this modified sheep's foot blade shape. I mean, not only does it cut well, but man, is that good looking. Even though this is a smaller knife, they did go ahead. They gave us a little bit of extra length in that handle. So you can see I got medium-sized hands, but if you have larger ones, this knife might actually work for you. And if you need to, there's even like a little bit of room here to choke up on. Now, I know that this is a front flipper first, but man, do I just love spidey flicking this thing open. There is one minor thing that I would probably change, and that would be probably better access to those thumb hole, because these scales, you can see, yeah, they're a little bit on the thicker side, but hey, at least there's enough room where I can go ahead and, slow roll it. Now, this is a first for me because the number 3 spot was actually between 2 knives, the Boker Plus Bonfire and the Petrified Fish Beluga. And honestly, I just could not pick one over the other. So what the heck? They're both going to be number 3. I know, I'm a wild man. So number 3A is going to be the Boker Plus Bonfire. Now, here's a knife that I really think hasn't gotten the amount of attention that it truly deserves. It's a traditional trapper design with some modern features like, well, a liner lock, the flipper tab, of course, micarta scales, and even, a deep carry pocket clip. With this one, you can either go ahead and open it my favorite way, and that's just reaching over the top like that, or, of course, you got the, just do that standard thumb roll from the side. Oh, and an added bonus. Now, for us lefties, we can also go ahead and, you can also go ahead and spidey flick it open using that nail nick, which only appears on the show side. I know, finally something goes our way. The 3.75-inch D2 blade, it is riding on a ball bearing pivot, and that action, oh man, it's super smooth. And how sometimes like with ball bearings that you can kind of feel them rolling because there's that, when you're closing it, there's like that jumpy kind of stutter motion. Well, there is not even a hint of that here. I mean, it's almost as if that this blade, you see that? It's almost as if it's like riding on air. And then here's the other one, the Beluga. Now, if you've been hanging around the channel, you know that lately I've just been trying out a bunch of new petrified fish knives, but this one so far, still my favorite. Not that you'd have a reason to, but if you ever looked up the word knife in a dictionary, this would have to be the one that's pictured. We get a couple different opening options, you know, with the front flipper, of course, and that fuller, but also it's a 2-position deep carry clip. Oh, and get this, they even throw in an extra set of body screws. The action, though, is where it's at with this knife, because you have got to be able, you've got to be able to move your thumb out of the way. Look at that, because of how fast it drops. I got to do that one more time. That's so much fun. Oh, see, I almost got bit. Number 2 is going to be a Civivi. That's the Imperium. Now, just like the CJRB from earlier, this one also, it's one of the very few knives that has both a front flipper and thumb studs. They took it even a step further by also giving it a really nice forward finger choil. And to be honest, I rarely use the flipper on this because, well, those thumb studs, you know, they're so tall and they're really, really easy to get at. I was never really all that into like Damascus, the Damascus finish, but Civivi, they've got it going on and they've kind of changed all that for me. All right, you ready to see it? Number 1 is going to be a Kizer. Yep, that's the Cormorant. I got to tell you, when I first saw this knife, I had no idea how popular that it would become because, you know, it was kind of tough for me to look past that blade shape, which, you know, it's not really my favorite. But I guess when a knife has like 4 different ways to open it, you know, does the shape of the blade really matter that much anymore? I've actually been carrying this a lot lately because I don't know, I kind of have a renewed appreciation of it. The whole button lock mechanism I think is kind of unique because, well, none of it is at all exposed. I just think that internal plunger was such a great idea, and it's one of the reasons that Kizer was able to just keep the entire knife design kind of compact. If you're still trying to get your hands on one of these, because believe me, I know it's not easy, you might want to wait though, because a new version with micarta scales and a 3V blade is going to be coming out later this fall. Now, I do have one honorable mention, and it is going to be this one. It's a Mojave Outdoor exclusive. This is the Kizer Deadpool Feist. It is a black-coated reverse Tonto 3V blade, which, you know, is a very tough tool steel. I was really surprised to see that this blade spine, yeah, look at that. It is, it's actually crowned because, you know, that type of, you know, when it's rounded, that's usually found on much more expensive knives. And I realized that these red micarta scales, they do kind of, it has sort of a washed out, you know, faded look to them. But, you know, as you know, micarta changes color the more you handle it. And, you know, as you can see, mine, yeah, that red, it's already starting to darken. The blade practically disappears into the handle. So, you know, it takes up very little room in pocket, which is, you know, that's exactly what you want for a light duty office carry type of knife. I just love the action on this thing. Watch. Oh yeah, that's nuts. The giveaway. But first I got to thank Mojave Outdoor for making this all possible because they are the ones that sent me the knives that I'm going to give away to you. So this Saturday, October 16th, I'll pick one lucky winner that's going to go home with this exclusive Feist in 3V. Now to enter, there's going to be a code word, which is feisty. If you just leave a comment using that word, you'll be in to win. So of course, I would really prefer that you try and use feisty in a sentence, but you know what? If you can't come up with something, no big deal. Just make sure that you leave a comment with the word in it. So up on the screen is going to be a video that I picked out for you to watch next. And don't forget, if you like what I'm doing here, click on subscribe. But I got to run. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you at the next video. Take care.